There's a lot of buzz about Bob Kraft's Super Bowl ad or the Blue Square Alliance. A lot of complaints about it, saying it's essentially terrible from both the right, the left, and everyone in between. Unsurprisingly, Jonathan Greenblatt and the ADL praised the ad. But first, let's actually just watch the ad before we get into it. So you have a kid walking down the hallway. It looks, the footage itself is pretty dark and it or dim, implies almost a different era, which is kind of how the ad feels anyway. This doesn't really appear to be too modern, other than this young woman checking her phone.
Loser. Dude.
Okay, so someone calls him a loser. I'm not sure. I couldn't hear what they said the first time there.
Did you see that?
Should we tell him?
So bad.
Oh, bro, look at him. Oh my gosh.
It's not funny.
Okay, there's a sticky note that says dirty Jew. Of all of the anti-Semitism that has emerged, certainly since October 7th, I can't think of a single complaint that I had seen publicized or that was the heart of the issue in which someone put dirty Jew on a sticky note on someone's backpack. Nonetheless.
Do not listen to that.
Thank you, man.
Okay, so
I know how it feels.
African-American man, 2 in 3 Jewish teens have experienced anti-Semitism. I'm glad that they clarified Jewish teens. I don't know how many non-Jewish teens have experienced anti-Semitism.
Nah. They're not worth it, bro.
Okay, so there's no confrontation. You're not correcting the record. You're not standing up for anything. You're not even sure how they even know you're Jewish. The guy's not wearing a kippah. There's no obviously identifiable signs there.
Yeah, you're right. I was tripping.
What's your name?
Name's Dave.
David?
Yeah.
Hello.
Halal. Okay. What is this? In all seriousness, I have absolutely no idea how that addresses any of the major issues. You have a whole gamut of actual anti-Semitic incidents that have to be addressed, starting with Jewish people that live in America are not necessarily connected to Israel. So the idea that you have people being essentially held accountable for the actions of the Jewish state and the Jewish perceived as the Jewish army, the IDF, is outrageous. Second of all, you actually have major figures promoting anti-Semitism. So Bob Kraft easily could have just rolled the tape of Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens. Third, I'm not sure that just letting it go and rolling with it is a good strategy. It's almost definitely not. Now, there's been some funny mocking videos of this interaction, and that's beating the crap out of someone. Saying that you necessarily should do that in high school or middle school, and then whatever this is. Again, I don't even know what it is. Shabbos Kestenbaum shared this. He goes, I'd really appreciate if someone could share this personal story with Robert Kraft. When I and other American students lobbied Chuck Schumer to pass the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, he responded each time by talking about how close he is to Robert Kraft, and he always wears the Stop Hate blue pin. Needless to say, Schumer lied to us students and never even brought forth the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act for a vote. I wanted to say this 2 years ago, but the organizers of our DC trips were hoping you'd fund their organization too, so they asked me not to share it. Mr. Kraft, Schumer and dozens of politicians use your organization as an excuse to not do anything meaningful and combat religious discrimination. Instead, say, I love Jews. Just look at this blue pin Robert Kraft gave me. You're a smart guy, but the people you have hired are morons, are either morons or are taking advantage of the money you pay them. Please don't let your legacy be ruined by this ineffective, pointless blue square campaign. Young American Jews, including the ones who work for you, know how useless the initiative is, but don't want to openly criticize you. Please consider using your immense wealth to fund Jewish day schools, double summer camp enrollment, expand birthright, publicize Chabad. I promise you, this Blue Square campaign is not only doing nothing to help us young people, but if anything, makes us look weak and useless victims. Liel Leibowitz says so much love and respect for Robert Kraft, but it's almost impossible to imagine a more retarded ad than this. First off, let's do the same thing we did last year to make sure you understand we have no creativity left. Second of all, let's make the call to action posting a BLM like bullshit square because that's what serious people do. Third of all, let's make sure the story we tell is of a dweeby Jew getting gallantly rescued by a cool black dude. If I had $10 million to spend on a Super Bowl ad, I'd just show a bunch of exploding beepers, dead Hamas and Hezbollah leaders, hot Israeli girls with guns, and the caption, F around to find out. But hey, why go with Jewish power and pride when quivering victimhood mixed with the worst of social media clicktivism is exactly what some committee of overpaid PR pros and professional Jewish org types thought would work wonders. I think that's pretty well said, honestly. Got to say, Liel, kudos to Liel, and also kudos to Shabbos Kesselman for saying it. The question is, this has been known, and the failure of this campaign in being actually effective is known. So what does that say that the way that the feedback loop functions is that people are scared when it comes to money or being scared as not to offend people? I do think that that's something that has to be analyzed in the donor space, because if a major contributor is basically the access to them, in this case, Bob Kraft, you have people working for Bob Kraft who, according to Shabbos Kestenbaum, know that this is a failed campaign, yet they can't say anything. Something is fundamentally wrong. There has to be some sort of feedback loop and feedback cycle that enables honest, forthright criticism and doesn't get people canceled. You can also have a robust debate. I will say one of the strengths of the Blue Check, our Blue Square campaign, is that you do have a number of people like Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel who's sharing it, and it's par of enough that you have other athletes who wear it. So would Mike Vrabel want to be associated with something like that if it's a Jewish pride and power campaign? My guess is not. But that isn't to say that that should be the target of the campaign. So I can understand wanting to promote understanding and respect in the professional sports space, while at the same time also wanting to promote Jewish pride and power. I think those two things can work well together. I don't think that's necessarily they cancel each other out. But something definitely has to be done. And certainly for an ad space and ad time here, I would have just run ads of Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson saying all sorts of crazy things. Or had someone read Cenk Uyghur's Twitter feed or X feed, which is full of insane, crazy conspiracy theories, or Anna Kasparian. I think that would have been a very effective use of time and resources. Instead, there's some sort of bizarre ad that, again, it got a lot of clicks here, but I don't think for the reason they intended. That's my thoughts on this. As always, thoughts, questions, shoot them in the comments. Happy to respond to